Bro, these zip lines. I'm not exaggerating. One is probably. One's probably like, oh man, they said, so the second one you go on is as tall as the Statue of Liberty, okay? Height-wise, and you're going across. The other one, I think it's higher, but you're higher in the mountain, but I guess the base is shorter, but it doesn't feel that way, but it's longer. So you're like six zip lines.
Yeah.
6 zip lines, hour hike to get
top.
up. Hour hike to get up to it. It's over here in Corona, you know? And it's pretty scary. Yeah. The first 3 are pretty scary. The rest they're fun, but they're nothing scary.
But you
about
do
them,
roller coasters, so would you do it?
Probably, yeah.
So Pastor Adams sends me a TikTok of the place. Oh, I'm thinking about just doing a promo for our sermon series, but it's people literally like in a jungle gym. So, that'll be dope.
It's like an adult jungle gym. Like you're walking across
it looked like
tires and, you know.
Little
but it's
obstacle
nice.
thing, everything. You see the grass right here, like, right? So then the night before, literally the night before, hey, Aaron, you still coming tomorrow? And he was like, let me send you what we're doing. He sends somebody ziplining into nothingness. Like,
it's like clouds. It's fog.
You're so high up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So how long is the zip line? Like a minute to 30 seconds?
One of them will probably be a minute.
Minute?
One of them's a minute. It's pretty long. It feels long. What do you need him to adjust? He needs to move over. Oh, there we go. No, one. Yeah, they're pretty. I mean, it's an hour hike, and then the experience is about 2 hours, and it's 2 hours of pretty consistent zip lining, with the group that you have. So it's but it's like it was impressive. The staff had this whole like storyline throughout, and they had like fake animal bones in places. So they actually, it was like, it was very, very, it was a higher quality than I thought it was going to be. In terms of like how they made it, they had water stops and it was like the company to me, like that blew me away at the standard in which they made the experience and the quality that they made it. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, you would have been, I mean, Shelton's not in here to defend himself, but he passed out on the first one and he had to walk back down the mountain.
That's crazy.
He couldn't do it. So
are we filming?
Yeah. I don't think Shelton listens to the podcast.
That's just Senior Pastor Liberties. I wasn't going to say nothing.
I mean, it's just the reality of the people were scared of it. But listen, the staff was great. We filmed everything we needed to film for an upcoming series, and they were great about it. And they, they didn't charge us extra. They just said, do the experience, stop, take as much time as you want to film. They're like, we only do one group a day for that group, that scariest one. Gotcha. So they're like, just take your time.
So you didn't plan a whole day for it?
It was a whole day. Yeah, we got there at like 8, and I don't think we were done till 1 or 1:30. Like 1:30. Yes, it was an all day thing. And then because the team, they're like, there's 4 locations we're filming at. They got to pack the bags up, wrap them around them, go down the zip line, come off, pull out the lighting equipment again, pull out the cameras again, set up audio on me again, and we had to do that 4 times. So that's what took
Gotcha.
A good amount of time. Otherwise, you're done before noon if you start at 9. Yeah.
Is that how you're launching Patriot Corona?
It feels like that as a pastor.
Hey, but here's the conversation is Aaron the night before with Nathan going, hey, Nathan, I can't do this. What do we have to barter?
We exchanged some executive responsibilities.
We came to an agreement. Okay. So I showed up on Monday.
Yeah. Dude, so is that the only thing you're scared of? Is like heights and roller coasters?
I hate the whole thrill thing.
Why?
That's not rest for me. Because
nobody's telling you need a rest.
But like I wouldn't choose that as adventure.
So what's an adventure to you? An Earl Grey and a good book? An adventure?
Man, London fog and a book. Man, that is crazy.
What a thrill.
Running on the beach
Probably,
is amazing.
Bro, come on. What? What are we doing right now?
Yeah.
I don't
need a.
That's a thrill though. Like you end it and you're like, yeah, I'm amped. Let's go. I was on a beach and I ran.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm different.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're on our way to Nathan's house, and I was like, babe, I think Adam wants me to go to this thing. I don't know if he kind of mentioned it. Like, if he needs me to go, I'm gonna go. But like, I don't know what's gonna be there. You know. So I'm gonna bring it up when we get to that. I'm gonna bring it up.
Planned discussion. But you didn't bring it up. I brought it up.
I was waiting for the time. so then Adam brings it up. It is just silence. And then Erica's like,
"What you gonna say?
What you gonna say?
And I was like, Do you need me there, Pastor?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, let me just send you some videos. I said, hey, bro. I said, Nathan, what's up?
He was like, I can't do this. I said, you said yes. He's like, I
Can't
said
back
yes
out.
before I knew it was this. I said, bro, I sent you the company. I sent you the thing. It's up to you to do the homework. But even the couple people who went with us, they're like, I didn't know it was going to be this. I'm like, guys, their information is on, like, it's public. They have a TikTok.
Homework on the internet.
Go look at it all. It'll show you everything that's on there.
This is coming off of the video we did in the freezing cold water.
Yeah,
when
bro.
you had the Navy SEAL equipment. I had the Amazon yoga pants.
Yeah, because I don't know why everyone expects that I'm supposed to prepare for them. I prepare for me. I filmed this thing in a jumpsuit. Like, I was ready. I was active. Like, do your homework, find out what the degree is during those days, and be ready. I had a tank top on. I was ready for the warm weather during this hike, this hour hike. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Bro, couple people hiking with us are on a corner, curled in a ball, saying it's too
Throwing up.
hard, throwing up. Little Alizé was holding it down though. She had equipment on.
Did she bring snacks?
She didn't.
Oh, you didn't.
You didn't.
No. She
That's
didn't bring a
crazy.
single
Didn't.
snack or a single
That's
water.
crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Welcome everybody to Beyond the Letter. I got my brothers in the house today. Thank you so much for joining us. I got
Yes, sir.
Aaron, Heron, and my brother Nathan in the house on the podcast today, which is great. Cause I was trying to think about, like, have we ever done a podcast, us four?
No.
This first time? No way. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
First
Okay, so for those that don't know, this is my community. These are the people that I do life with, hold myself accountable to. My marriage, we hold ourselves accountable to, and so these are my literal brothers outside of the church that I spend majority of my time with is Aaron, Heron, and Nathan. So I was thinking about it, like when I told Nancy to talk to you guys, see if you guys come on, and then I had a thought, and I'm like, have I ever had all three of them at the same time?
Mm-mm.
Which is dope. That's cool that we all got to jump on for the first time. Nathan obviously is my blood brother. He's the oldest of us, and then we obviously have Caleb's our middle brother, and then Heron is probably at this point in my life, my oldest closest friend. So I met Heron. I transferred to the Masters University, and I met Heron relatively early on in that thing. So that would have been, we first met 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So were we in 2014, 13 years ago?
Yeah. 13,
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
13 years ago. That was a long time ago. And
So
we
you
got
were like 20.
I was 21 when I
19,
met
20.
him. Yeah, I was 21 when I met H, because I was at Life Pacific University, and then I did my AA there, and then I transferred over to Masters, and then I met Heron within a week over there, because my roommate, and I've told it before on the podcast, but my roommate I had, Blaze, who went off to be officer in the military. Heron was going to Israel for a few months. He was going to study abroad in Israel. So that week that before the couple days before they actually were going to ship out, they didn't have any dorms for any of the students that, it's weird. Like, they have to be there to check in for classes to start and get their books and but they don't have anywhere for the students to stay before they go to Israel. It's like, it didn't make any sense. So they're having to get hotel rooms or whatever. So my roommate, who I had just met, was like, hey, I got these buddies, like, can they stay in our apartment? We had this big old apartment because it used to be dorm rooms. And I'm like, yeah, Heron was one of those guys.
Got it.
With 4 other black guys. There were 10 black guys that went to the whole school. So I had half of the African-American student body staying at my apartment before they all went to Israel. Yeah, and then so me and H go way back in that way, and then me and Pastor Aaron, we first met because he was serving in youth ministry when I was the youth pastor, and I had a guy named Pastor Al that was with me, who that was majority who Aaron served with until I saw that Aaron was just about that life. But what's funny is my first real encounter and story, and I'm pretty sure you know this, but my first story of you was your daughter Eileen, who I knew. She was the one in my high school program, and so she was in our leadership development program, who we've had Eileen on Beyond I Do, who recently got married last year. And Eileen was telling me, because she was going on a missions trips to Haiti, and her dad was going with her, and she invited me to her house because she said her dad was doing a garage sale of all of his Jordans. And she was like, you like Jordans, Pastor Adam, maybe you want to come? And then I asked the size. I was like, oh, that's not my size. I'm not really interested. And then, but that was my first time, because I was like, he's doing what?
Yeah.
And like, he's selling his Jordans to go on a missions trip? Let me ask you today, was it worth selling all your Jordans to go on that missions trip?
Yeah.
Why
because
is that?
it wasn't it wasn't just about raising the money to go on the trip. It was removing an idol from my life. That's what it was about. It was when I was a kid, my dream was to get Jordans, but my dad was the only one working in the house. So it was like, hey, here's school shopping and here's $60 for your school shoes. So I made a commitment to myself. When I make my own money, I'm getting Jordans. Because freshman year of high school, I'm getting Fila's. I'm getting, right? So I'm like, I'm getting Jordans. So then I started making money. And what it turned into, every pay period, I'm getting Jordans.
Yeah.
So I have like 136 pair of Jordans at the height of that. And it wasn't even about the shoes. It was about the commitment I made. I'm going to get Jordan. I'm going to get shoes. And so that was around the time of my life where it was like, man, I really want to take God seriously. Then, man, going on a mission trip with your daughter, what does that look like, blah, blah, blah. And then, just ask people to give donations. It's easy. Well, no one is giving donations. No one.
Yeah.
So then a thought came, well, just sell your Jordans. And I know that wasn't from me. I love my Jordan. What are you saying? Everybody knows I'm the Jordan guy. So I just carried that thought. And it freed me from that. Now, I still love shoes, but shoes don't have me anymore.
Yeah. And now you went from buying $240 Jordans to you buy $20 Crocs, I think. Is that what that
Part
is?
of the reason why Crocs are back, I think. I will probably be the first pastor to do a collab with Crocs.
Oh, is that like
that would be a bucket list thing.
That's a faith speech you put out there?
Yeah.
I want one of those little, you put the little, what are they called? Dongles?
Gibbets.
Gibbets?
Dongles.
The little things you put in the Crocs. I want an Aaron head gibbet that like with like a mustache.
That would be
I need
fire.
a little more facial hair, but I want like a
You
little
hate when why are you so interested in me?
Bro, I like when you have facial hair,
I
bro.
came into work. He was like, did you shave? But like with like disgust. He was, why?
Look like a little baby. All the men at the table got a little facial hair over here, and Aaron's got baby powder on his chin. Hey, speaking of which, here's what I thought. I just came up with it. Well,
Okay.
I kind of had a loose thought going into this, and it solidified given this conversation. Do you got the video that I sent Gabe, Andy? No, that's great. Now that I see Gabriel's not in here,
Definitely bring something up while we're waiting on this.
Go ahead.
Something that we probably haven't talked about publicly since this happened, on how me and Nathan are the cornhole champions within this group.
Oh,
yeah.
That's very surprising.
just
for someone
demolished.
like me, but
Just demolished them. They were so competitive.
I've never
They
seen them
tried so
angry
hard. Oh,
together.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Pastor H got a little temper that day.
Yeah.
I mean, we are the reigning cornhole
We definitely need a
champions.
rematch. That's a rematch.
Yeah.
I'm just being real. I mean,
In the
just,
gym,
And that
in
was
the
a
courtyard.
tournament.
that was a tournament. It had levels. This
I mean-
I mean,
We
You
need that
guys had
rematch.
you guys had beginner's luck going for you guys for sure. There was
It was consistent.
no, there was Nate. No, Aaron held it
consistent.
down for Nathan. That's
No.
what it was.
We both
Don't do
both
that.
carried each other at
Don't do
times.
that. Don't do
There were
that.
moments, yes.
Yeah, it was a very highly climactic moment over probably like 15 games of cornhole, and I forgot. I was talking to somebody. Someone was talking to me who's like in our church, and we was talking, and they just played cornhole for the first time, and they're like, "Now I know why white people play it so much. It's a pretty addicting game."
And remember, we were just playing. We didn't know the rules until
yeah,
Ashley was like, "No, this is the point. This is what you go to."
Yeah, who
okay.
actually says she's black, but she's not. She knows more about white culture stuff than she does about anything else. She got cornhole too. Her family probably has 16 different versions of cornhole in their house. They got a Bears
Dang.
cornhole. They
Got it.
got logo.
commitment.
They got their last name on one of the cornhole. They got that down.
But
to
when
a
we
T.
were playing
But I
by
don't really
those
pay when
rules
I'm at
and
their
points,
house.
it
Yeah.
became a lot more competitive. It became very serious.
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
You could knock someone out. And stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. So we'll rematch. I'm working
sure.
on. Yeah, we're putting some industrial cornhole stuff over here at our church campus. So
You're gonna put our names
we're
on
gonna.
it? The reigning champions.
Swap it out.
No,
Whoever.
hey, meet me and Heron on the pickleball court.
Oh.
Play
I
something
just-
that's a little bit
hey,
active.
I'm
Yes,
gonna tell you right
yes.
now. I just started playing pickleball.
I'll give you 6 months playing every day, and you still can't beat me in age.
Have you played?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I can't
we know
throw
how
myself
that'll
in
end.
there.
No, but because he's been in tournaments and everything like that.
Yeah, he's
Trophies.
semi-
That's why he
Semi-pro.
said 6 months. That's fair.
I'll
right?
give you
6
yeah.
months.
Age
If
has
you
only been
play
playing
every
for
day.
a year. He's
Yeah.
only been playing
He locks into stuff though.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, but that's on you.
That's-
you gotta figure that out, my boy. You gotta figure that out. Listen, just play me 1v1 at pickleball.
Oh.
I'll give you 6 months playing every day 1v1 pickleball. H, tell him.
Come on. There you go.
right.
What?
What
Hey.
is the date 6 months from today?
We'll report for the
we could-
podcast.
yeah, we could do that.
Where we at?
We could
right,
do that.
right before Christmas.
Yeah, we could do
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you take as much time over the next 6 months. You will not beat me, hands down. You won't beat me.
Okay.
You will get slaughtered.
Okay.
Okay. All
You
right.
look like you locked in. You locking in?
I'm locked in.
He's gonna.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, you better lock in and
Yeah,
pray.
because earlier this week, Colin and Eileen came over. Faith has been talking about pickleball, so
Yeah.
she asked Colin, "Can you bring your paddles?" Blah 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 blah. We walked to the park, and I mean, we had a blast.
Oh, it's so much
my
fun.
gosh,
Yeah.
we had a blast. So I'm seeing Trinity into this, Faith into this, Eileen. I was like, "Oh, I'm getting stuff today."
Yeah, it doesn't matter
what
what age you are.
Yeah.
In terms of
Yeah.
playing. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
No, you can ask. There was a time. So we play. Me, H, Colin, and Joda played a couple weeks ago, and then we're playing. And then I'm playing with Colin's playing, and we're messing with Colin and everything because Colin was not very good. And so,
for sure.
and so finally, I say, because I play to the level like I don't really play competitively, like when I know I'm playing with people who don't really play. So
So you really play?
I can play. I can really play ping pong, and the dynamics are the same in many ways.
okay.
So I'm in the last 10 years, I've not met anyone who could beat me at ping pong.
It's true. Yeah.
And the reason being, when I lived in Texas, I lived with a family who the family was from Sri Lanka, and the father was the Texas state champion at ping pong.
Okay.
And so I lived with them for 5 months. And his kids were still, like his son was probably a sophomore in high school, and then his daughters were in elementary school. So 3-4 times a week, me and the dad, we would just play ping pong. And that's before technology
Okay.
really exists or anything. So you're either watching DVDs, TV, or you're finding something. This is 2008. So we played ping pong 3-4 days a week. And then when I moved out, he gave me his tournament ping pong paddle. So I could play ping pong.
okay.
I could play ping pong.
So I have a question about that.
If someone really plays competitively, they'll beat me. But any natural person who just plays ping pong, I'm gonna win. Yeah.
So if you have ping pong here, you have tennis here. Is pickleball in the middle?
Yeah, I've never played tennis enough, but I would say it is.
I would say
yeah.
it is in terms of strategy and placement and
Yeah.
you know.
I would say the difference between competitive tennis is the ball is moving 100 miles an hour. which
Okay.
is the same rate that a pitcher is throwing a ball in baseball. So in tennis, what they don't talk about more so than not is it is a person's eye, that's ability to even catch the ball. Like if you go with a D-Win college tennis player and they hit the ball, like you're not even going to see the ball move past you.
Yeah.
Where ping pong isn't necessarily, pickleball is not like that. You're for the most part, unless someone is attacking the ball right by you, you know where the ball is going.
Okay.
So it's more about technique and more about strategy with pickleball,
Okay.
which is kind of how ping pong is. But ping pong, you have way more spin, way more control of what's going on. So in ping pong, you're countering spin more if you're playing competitively more than so. Like if I'm playing ping pong with someone and they start talking mess, I can immediately spin the ball. Where if they don't know how to spin a ball, it doesn't matter how good they try to hit the ball. The ball's going to go somewhere.
Okay.
You could kind of do that with pickleball the same way.
Okay.
So what happened with Colin was we're playing, we're joking. He kind of said a statement. So then I said, okay, I'm going to serve for you for real then, and you're not even going to hit the ball. And because he hit almost every serve. Okay. He laughs. And then I serve it, and that ball goes right past him. He get hit. So it's like you play to the degree of the talent of the person, or else it's not fun.
For sure.
Or else you just keep serving past them, and they don't get a hit it. Like H could do that too. H can serve in a way that you almost can never return it if you don't play all the time. Okay. And then by then, it's not even fun, you know? Yeah. And then people get mad at pickleball courts if you do that. Like if you're playing an older group, and you're just like wrecking them with technique, they're gonna be like, that's kind of messed up. Can we just play to a little? Like you could win, but you know, yeah. We're like tennis. You could play tennis and like you could play competitively. I don't think anyone gets mad if someone actually tries. Whereas pickleball, people could get mad if you actually try and that person's talent is not there.
I see.
So that's kind of the difference with. But it's fun. It's highly addictive. Anyone could play it at any age as long as you have basic hand-eye coordination. Yeah. And then once you jump to talent, I was at a pastor's conference one time. Did I ever tell you this? John Bevere's son. So I'm playing, and they're all like, "Oh, you know, like, oh, you play." I'm like, "Oh, I played pickleball a couple times." They're like, "Come playing." We're all playing, and then do you know what is your like handicap in pickleball? Do you know what that is?
Probably 4.0, 4.5 around that area. Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
So the rating goes up to 6.0.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1.0, 2.0 beginners, 3.0. You're moving up.
Yeah.
3.5, 4.0. So 3.0 is beginners. 3.5 is intermediate, and then 4.0 and above is advanced.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I want to say he was like a 4.5 or 5.0 or something like that, and he says like they're like, "Oh, what's your rating, Adam?" And I'm like, "Pickleball has a rating?"
For sure. I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, they do.
I'm like, "There's a rating?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm only a 4.5, 5.0." He says something like that, and another guy's like, "Oh man," and then they're like, and then another guy comes, they're like, "Oh, but he's a 6." They're like, "He's the top," like whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And then I start seeing them playing, and I'm like, "Oh."
Levels.
There's a different world to this competitively. Because
for sure.
They were like, basically John Bevere's son, Addison, like he can hit your toe every time. So like wherever you're standing, because you can't swing on your toes. So like if you're not paying attention in that moment, he'll send the ball to your toes. And you lose every time. And you're like, and you could be anywhere, and he could hit it in a way fast that it hits your toes, and you're just frustrated. So I was frustrated that day because there were enough guys playing on each side that were good enough that they all were playing at that level with each other. Wow. So when I came in, I was just like, this is like, I'll play a couple games, but then I'm done.
It's not fair.
Yeah. Give me a couple
I can't even hit the ball.
Fair.
And they compliment just like you did. They compliment. We're like, Adam, you're actually pretty good naturally, which were like the ping pong dynamics, but the rate of like Heron's got first, second place trophies in all of Inland Empire.
Right,
so it's like the rate of these guys playing is totally different.
Yeah.
You got that video, Andy? Yep. All right. So here's the thought. I don't know if you guys saw this video go viral, but this dude was running a track race and he got real cocky.
Black dude.
Yeah. So for those listening on audio, dude's running a track race. He gets real cocky. He starts looking at everyone and telling them to keep up, and then he trips over his feet right before he finishes, and he gets smoked.
Oof.
And so what I wanted to throw out there was, for each of you guys, what is one time in your life that you felt completely humbled? Okay. So watch the video and think to yourself, what is one time in your life that you were just absolutely humbled by something? Go ahead and play it, Andy.
Oh, this guy should be.
Jeez.
So for those on audio, he's running halfway through the race. He looks to the left and right, and he waves at everyone like, come on, keep up, keep up. He runs a second. He turns around again, says, keep up, and turns straight and just falls forward right before the finish line. And the kid that he was most arrogantly taunting ends up getting first in that race, and the dude just sits there on the floor.
Jeez.
That's heartbreaking.
Oh
He
my
just sat
gosh.
there.
Pride comes before a fall. That's
right.
that's
true,
for
yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
All right, who's got some? What's one time in your life, whether it's something like that or some other type of thing where
I got one.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
growing up playing basketball,
Okay.
we played at different parks. So we played at, lived in Fontana. We played at Heritage Park, and there was a park in in the other side of Fontana, near Kaiser High School. So it was a group of people, talking mess. Yeah, hey, we want your group to play our group, and I'm like, oh man, you guys are trash. It's like 4 white guys and 1 black dude. So we go to the park, and we're playing 5-on-5, and it's the first time in my life I ever got crossed over where I fell to the ground, and it was a $100 bet. So we lost that $100. We had D1 players on my team. Etowah High School, and we're going over there to Kaiser Park, and we're playing against these guys. You look at them, it's like white man can't jump. They don't look too good. They're like, okay, we got them. We're talking mess behind. We get on the court, first play, shakes me. First time in my life I ever fell.
Yeah.
Playing basketball.
Yeah.
So that definitely humbled me. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
Whenever somebody gets crossed over and then the person falls, that's when
That's another story. Yeah.
And then if that person ends up making the shot after that person falls, that's the next level of
You could never
humiliation.
go. You could never exist in that area again.
Well, what you do is you get
gotta
up
move away.
and you check your shoes. That's what people do. Oh man, my shoes were slippery.
You just stay down.
That's another thing. Hare is an athlete, bro, because he's a baller
Oh,
too.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a basketballer
Yeah.
too.
He is.
Been a baller.
Everywhere I go, if people bring up basketball, they'll be like, "Hey, babe, you ever play?" And I played with Hare. We used to be part of a league in college, and we won the championship.
Yep.
I was only ever the enforcer. You remember that?
I remember those.
That's
Yeah.
it. I just watched the
Set
sidelines,
screens, yeah.
and if they had other guys on their team who started playing real aggressive, it was like pop Adam out there, and we get him work. We ended up winning the intramural championship, but it was all Heron. It just pass him the ball. Heron would just
Shoot. He can shoot, man. He can shoot.
every time.
And he has great footwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes it look
That's
easy.
the athletics, bro.
He'll clean up at Six Flags. He'll win any
Yeah.
child.
Bro, those basketball
Saturday.
games,
They took that away.
because of you.
You kept wiping them out.
They went broke, man. They went to foreclosure just because you always get the jerseys and everything like that.
Speaking of foreclosure, I got mine. No, my house wasn't foreclosed on.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait, what happened?
No. I was working at Bank of America.
Yeah.
And this was during the time where banks were accidentally foreclosing on military customers that were on active duty orders.
Oh.
So banks were in the news about like, man, can you believe how trash this bank is because they don't have nothing in place to protect our military? Well, Bank of America didn't have nothing in place. We're looking at this, and I got selected to help put things in place.
Yeah.
So building a team for this, because this was new. So building a team for this, then traveling to different locations and training the people in this, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the team grew to the point where we needed a VP that would be over that division. I just knew it would be me because the SVP appointed me, and at that point, I wasn't even an assistant vice president then. I was probably like a department manager. But like the level of training and responsibility I was doing, I was at the big boys table. I was traveling. I was doing all this stuff. So then the guy that was asking me to do all of this and travel and so forth, he comes to our location. Now, in corporate America, when you have like the SVP comes, it's like corporate. Hey, this person's coming to, I know his name, I'm not going to say it. This person's coming. So straighten up your area about, all that stuff, right? So this was during the time where they just opened up the position of who is going to be the VP of all of this.
Okay.
I felt like I built it. Like, feel like, right? So I see him, and he just walks right by me and says nothing to me. And I was just like, what? Then I go to Virginia to train people. And in that training, they make an announcement. Hey, we want to promote the following individuals for doing such an amazing job. Da, 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 da. Oh, I just knew it was me.
Yeah.
So-and-so and so. So, yeah. So-and-so, yeah. And then it was just like, done. Wait, y'all forgot. And it took me back to like my freshman year in high school, like trying out for the basketball team, and you're looking for your name, and like your name's just not there. Like it's just like it's like So like that I remember being in Virginia just like angry.
Yeah.
And like embarrassed, but like why am I embarrassed? Like you see what I'm saying? Like but it was just like processing all of like this hard work, but it was a really good moment for me because I was building all this stuff and I didn't even know it was for the wrong motives.
Got it.
It ended up being a blessing because it was just a Band-Aid for my insecurities. That's all it was. I was just climbing the corporate ladder, trying to impress people to get certain roles. Me not getting it gave me an opportunity to look at like my pure motives and why I'm working so hard to climb. But it was humbling. I was why wouldn't he say nothing to me? Why you know? And then all these people, it would be people that I trained, then they get promoted. And I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know during that time, Erica was pregnant with Trinity. I go out on leave for about 3 months. I come back to a criminal investigation.
Oh, dang.
I was falsely accused for coercing with employees to steal money.
Wow.
I mean, that scared when I'm talking about scared.
Yeah.
Here's how it happened. I just get a meeting invite from my boss's boss. Go to this conference room at this time. Oh, they probably gonna promote your boy.
Yeah.
I go in the room. My boss's boss is not in there. It's a corporate investigator.
Dang.
So I walk in the office, and I saw it was this guy like this. And then I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you have this room? And he was like, Aaron Levy? I said, yeah. He was like, have a seat. Is your social 604? Do you have a Chevrolet Tahoe? Do you have a... I just need you to know that you're in the middle of an investigation.
Dang.
You talk about humility training.
Dang.
Yeah.
Thinking you're going to get promoted.
Yeah.
Now I'm in an investigation. Who said I did? Who did? What?
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
bring them in here. No, we're not going to do that. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the questions. Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, my. I mean, yeah. So it went from this season of like, I'm building. And then it's like, I didn't get what I thought I was going to get. And now I'm in this investigation. But I'm coming off of like some of the best time with my family.
Yeah.
We just have faith. We just had Trinity. I'm going on my first mission trip because that's all during the same time.
Man.
That was
Yeah.
2013 when I was selling my Jordans. It was
Wow.
the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
God was changing my values.
Wow.
God was just changing my values. So it's just like, that was humiliating. Like that, and it was very fearful because I didn't know what the bank was going to do. And then all of a sudden, comes back. Oh yeah, it was just you. We didn't get any evidence that you did it. Okay, business as usual.
You're good. Go ahead. What in the world?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That was
So did you ever find out like why you weren't getting those promotions? Was there a natural reason, or you just feel like at the end of the day it was kind of God just, you know?
I never found out from the bank. I will say that I found out from me, this like reflecting on who I am. Like, I wasn't humble enough, and I wouldn't be trusted with that level of responsibility. Because like in order to have that level of responsibility, you have to like get results through others. And in order to get results through others, you got to really care about others. I didn't care about others.
You cared about being the talent.
I
most
cared
talented
about being the
person.
guy.
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the guy has to get results through others, and you're not going to get results through others if you're just making it about you.
Yeah.
So that's what God taught me. The bank didn't teach me that. God used that bank scenario to see how deflated I can be if I don't get something I work hard enough for. Because I worked hard, but all goodness comes from God, not from a bank, not from a boss or what have you. And I didn't know those things. I was learning those things because I had been coming to church now. It'd be my third year at that point.
Yeah.
So
Dang. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Man.
That's cool. Well, you have one, Nathan?
I'm like toggling a lot.
There-
More serious one or more
Oh, yeah,
lighthearted
okay.
one?
Yeah.
I'm like, am I gonna go lighthearted like Ace or a little more serious like Aaron? You guys tell me.
Nate, let's go more serious.
yeah, because that's what he does with us.
Yeah.
Let's have some lighthearted conversation. We go out to dinner, and let's just have some lighthearted. What's your biggest regret in life, and have you repented, and have you got healing from that? I'm like, that's how y'all do dinners? Like,
They're like, we're not doing that, Nathan. It's a real story.
Not
One-
true. Not true.
One time we sit at dinner and Nathan's like, hey, just so you guys know, I thought of some like just some table talk that we could all kind of. We're like, oh, okay. He's like, but I'll bring it up at dinner. We're like, all right. We sit down and he goes, so here's the first thing I just want to throw it out there. What is your biggest life regret? I just want to
Like
throw it out
regret
there.
that you missed out on. That you missed out on.
me and
That was the question.
me and Eric are like, well, what we saying? Like,
We're like, Nathan, we're not doing that. So yeah, since you like
Okay,
going
so-
serious, go serious.
So I'll say it in this. I'll say so. This would have been about 10 years ago. I would say there were moments where I caught up in some things that weren't reflective of who I was as a man and as a Christian. And so, long story short, end up in a strip club. And so from that, when you're in the moment, you think that no one's ever going to know these things.
Yeah.
You're in a moment, like there's no way things like this will come out, and so you begin to make excuses for yourself in that sense, and you bring your own safety in your head, that this is okay or it's justified in whatever way. Innately knowing that, you're in a moment and it's wrong and it's sin and you're just uncomfortable, but you're there, you're present, you made a decision and now you're there. Well, come from that, again, long story short, my father finds out. And so when he finds out, he has a conversation with me. And from that, I realized in that moment, not only was I personally humilified that he'd even found out and would know, I think for me, it resonated as one of those moments where I realized what's done in the dark will come to light. And from that moment, like it made me walk in a level of humility like I never walked before in my life, because I've always been a good student. I've always felt, prided myself on a good son, always put together. Exactly. And so in that moment, it was like my world was completely exposed and torn down, where I was like completely vulnerable and exposed to not only my father, my family, my wife in that moment. And from that, there were consequences of being sat down for a season and whatnot. So it was not only just the personal side of walking in that humility, but obviously the consequences that came from it, and naturally walking through that, gaining a totally different understanding of why I did the things that I did in that moment, what came from that, and the choices that I want to make for the better because of that. But most importantly, for me to understand that there is a level of accountability that always needs to happen in one's life. And so for that, it was like, although people in my life knew about it, there was still this level of covering up. And it wasn't until that moment that I realized like that what's done in the dark will come to light. But most importantly for me, having to walk down that road of humility for the person that I've always tried to be, to put together, to realize like I don't have to be like that all the time, because I think that's what made me crumble even more internally and made the process even harder, because I just continually like beat myself up because of that. And I think the forgiveness took a little longer from that, because I put myself here and then I crumbled, and so it just took a longer process where now I don't, you know, try my best to, you know, to try to be perfect or anything like that. And realize that the more real I can be, the more authentic I can be, the better man that I can be.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Rich.
Yeah, that's great. Let's see. Mine is a little similar. Mine's similar in degree, and then we're gonna have you do a serious one, H. We're gonna come back at you with a serious one. But heroin was in my life during this time. It was in college, and I had just broken up with the 4-year relationship girlfriend that I had, or fiance that I had. So I kind of went through a like spiral of like, I was with this girl for 4 years, and she was a virgin and was really important, and she would go to her church, I would go to mine, and we like both relatively were trying to keep up. Like, she wanted her Christian values. I was trying to become gotten saved, and so I'm like, I'm trying to be the best Christian, but the way I lived before that, mostly in terms of like sexual sin, was like everything, you know, open on the board. So like that relationship ends, and I'm now like at university, and just then I just start like, all right, man, well, I'm gonna play the field. But what I didn't realize was like, because I had never dated in that Christian bubble, I never realized how like so many of those girls were raised under these like really, you know, shielded homes. Okay. So, and most of the guys that are there are shielded too. So I kind of, so I just start wilding out. And in particular, at this point, by second semester, I'm an RA of all off-campus students. And so I'm the off-campus RA with one other person. And then me and this girl, we go too far, and she tells her roommate, and her roommate goes and tells like the dean. And so then now like basically the dean's like, because they knew I came out of like this charismatic church and my dad's church, like we're going to make an example of him. So that was really what they set out to do. So they bring me into this interrogation room, 5 men in there, tell us everything you've ever done, all your, like, I had to confess all my sins, stuff I've done in the school, not in the school, and they were to judge whether I was authentic about repentance or not. That was the point of it. And after the first meeting, one of the guys who was there, who was like my RD, the resident director, he like pulled me aside and was just like, hey, man, I just want to tell you, when you go in tomorrow, you might want to go with a different game plan, because of right now, one of the guys is saying that a guy who's ever sinned that much before probably isn't saved. So they don't even think you're saved. And I was like, what? Like, I'm like, what is going on? And then apparently the girl that I messed up with was what had been there 4 years and is a very, you know, we were in a small bubble. So she was more popular than I thought she was, because I was new. And so then I guess a bunch guys she had dated before who like they couldn't even get a first kiss from her, were like really mad. And so then they were like gonna beat me up and so people start talking about me. So I have people that used to sit in with lunch with me who didn't want to sit with me anymore because they thought I was a sinner, you know. Mind you, a bunch of these kids have their own, you know, they're doing their own stuff in the closet and all that stuff. Like, but legitimately, you'd be like, hey, can I sit here? And that people would be like, no, we're good. And I'm like, okay. I'm just sitting with them 2 weeks prior, right?
That's crazy.
Because they're like purposely making an example of me. So I'm being punished. I'm not an RA anymore. There's public email that goes out, Adam, this, and this, at least for all off-campus RAs. They're like, hey, we're gonna make an example. So I mean, I felt like, you know, despicable. Everything these guys were saying about me, I thought was true. Like, I'm questioning, like, am I a believer? Am I a Christian? All people don't want to be my friends anymore because I fell, because you're at this very overtly Christian university. So I fell, and then I got my own other couple friends like Heron and all them, and they're like, bro, you know, bump that, dude, you're good. You know, like we're still close and we're all hanging out, but at the same time, it's like very frustrating for me, but it's also embarrassing. One of it was like they made me go talk to my dad, because what they were trying to do was basically one of the RDs told me, I know what's going to happen is once we start disciplining you, since your dad isn't connected to our school, you're going to just go run to your dad, and then your dad's going to like if he doesn't know, he's going to love on you and have you go to his church or whatever. And they're like, so they wanted to embarrass me on both fronts of my life. And I had to have like a written letter from my dad that, mind you, I'm 22 years old. I'm a young man, but I'm an adult.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, but they're holding over, like, we won't let you finish your classes. You won't, you know, you'll have, you know, they're threatening all these things just mainly to try to embarrass me. Which it worked. They did. And I was pretty humiliated to the point that I would go to class and then go straight to my apartment afterwards. So starting from that point, I was still there another year. I never went on campus ever again, other than to go to class or to pick up the guys, because some of them, Heron went off to seminary shortly after that part. But then the rest of our friends, if I wasn't picking them up at school, so I never went to the student center again. I never ate on campus again. I never went to the coffee shop there again.
Wow.
I never stepped foot on campus ever again. And that was like, you know, because that girl who was involved, no discipline happened to her in any way. And it took two to tango. But that's where I was like really, I was embarrassed. I was angry. I had all these emotions, but more than anything, humiliated. Because everyone knew my business, and I couldn't control it. But it's like, to your point, like that was some things that, because I was really good at just making stuff happen, and it was like one time that I couldn't just I just had to sit in, like whatever would come from it, I had to sit in it. And, but that moment on top of some other moments that happened at school, I mean, that ultimately did lead me back. And then when I did go talk to my dad looked at me because I'm crying and I'm embarrassed. Similar to Nathan's thing, you're talking to your dad, he knows your laundry, and I felt I'm gonna go to it and I'm gonna be honest, because I'm like, you know, I could fake a letter from my dad, but I'm like, I'm trying to have integrity in this situation. I don't want to prove them right. They think I'm a liar. They think so. I'm gonna go tell my dad, and so I'm crying. I'm very like, hey, I slept with this girl, and all embarrassed, and this and this and this, and literally all my dad says is, man, that's crazy. Last time I read my Bible, David wasn't kicked out of the palace just because he messed up with Bathsheba. He's like, man, I'm just thankful God forgives when we ask for forgiveness. So what do you want to do about it? I was just like, I thought he was going to like tear me up. I thought he was going to treat me the way all they had for the 3 weeks that I had been interrogated, you know, 3-4 times a week, and going to sit with people and, you know, all these things. But he was just like, you're crying, you're ashamed, they've embarrassed you over there. Like, what else can I do? He was just like, man. And then that's when I asked him, like, hey, you think I could just like, I need to be closer to people who know me. Can I just start coming to church on Sundays? My dad was like, yeah. So then that's when I started every Sunday busing like 6 guys from the university to Abundant at the time. Every Sunday at that point we started, because we were all jaded to some degree. Heron finished school and he started visiting during the Christmas season. And so when Heron was home from seminary, he would attend here before he was ever on staff. So like that, but that moment with that girl, that's what was really a launching plant for all of us going like, man, we just like, there's nothing like that charismatic love of Jesus type of thing. Like that's what brought us, the like, hey, if you're a sinner, come here, come hang out here, type of thing. And we all felt accepted in that kind of environment. But then we felt like we could grow in that environment at the same time too. But that was embarrassing because that was the first time I would say probably in my whole life by 22, it was like I had felt completely exposed. Mm-hmm. I didn't have everyone knew my business because the deans were making it known to as a way. They have a theory behind it, and I don't agree with the theory, but that's what you do. You completely air the person's laundry. You tell everyone what it was. The community purposely outcasts you, so you feel the weight of your sin and yada, yada, yada. And so it's like, they accomplished it for sure. Yeah. But I never speak to them again, so it's like, how much did you accomplish? For sure. You guys never checked on me once. So I could be dead today and none of you, but man, you guys did a great job. You definitely never spoke to me. Good job on that, so it's like, even while I was doing everything I needed to do though, to be restored. So,
Yeah. Consequences. I believe consequences aren't enough for behavior change. Yeah. Or the prison system will work. So the Bible says the goodness of God leads to repentance. Yeah. Not just the airing of everything you did. That's embarrassment, shame, and so forth but that doesn't change your values. Yeah. For sure. What changes your values, I'm still loved in this moment. God demonstrates his sin towards us that while we were sinners, he loves us. Mm-hmm. That's worth repenting for. Mm-hmm. But just the exposure and the embarrassment, it could prevent have a pressure. I got to get back to that level. I got to get to their level. Yeah. Until you find out that their level, they got stuff that they're doing too. Well, we all do except Jesus. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. Yeah, and there's a difference between unrepentance and repentance, and a lot of times people are holding a person to the standard of unrepentance who has repented, and it's trying to, what do you want me to do? And they're like, no, just sit there and sit in that corner. It's like, well, then
think about what you did.
Yeah. Wait, like, but I have, I have, and I am. I don't need my RA roll back, but can someone go to lunch with me now? For sure. Can I at least have someone sit with me where no, you can't have
for
that.
Sure. And I think that's where Dad played that role for me too, was like, you're going to have to live with X, Y, and Z, but know that you're still loved and you're going to still have a place. Yes. You still are going to be here at this church. You're still going to be on staff, but you're going to have to live with these consequences. But know that I'm here with you and I'm walking with you every step of the way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's great. That's good. Heron, did you rethink of a more serious one? Yeah. You got one?
For sure. This is, I want to say, maybe straight out of high school, maybe 2004. I was gifted a Toyota Corolla, right? Mom and Dad, excited, happy. Hey, here's a graduation present. And I had a full ride scholarship to Cal Poly Pomona. I lost the scholarship because of some choices, partying, doing drugs, doing all that whole nine with college life. And so in that season, I kind of was hanging out with a bad group of people, hanging out with wrong people, wrong crowd. And every time I would get in trouble, I would just call my mom. Hey, Mom, I need $200. Mm-hmm. I need, hey, the Corolla needs new tires. I need $500, and I wasn't going to church. I was just doing my thing. I was in college, just, doing all that bad stuff. And I remember a particular Sunday, the car stopped working, and I pulled over to Scandia, right there in Ontario. And I call my mom, and I'm like, hey, Mom, this car's down, and I need the expense for the tow. And the tow guy is looking at it, and he's saying it's the transmission. It's probably going to be $1,000. She's like, no, I'm not helping you. So in that moment, she was like, and I was like, can you at least pick me up? She's like, no, you're walking home. Jeez. Doing all that dirt, not going to church. My parents were pastors, and so they had this expectation, like, hey, if you're gonna live in my house, so at least come to church. Yeah. And I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing anything. I was just doing my own thing. And I remember walking from Scandia to Heritage in Fontana.
That's far.
That's a long walk. And I've never felt so, embarrassed in my life to that degree where I'm walking, thinking of every, bad decision I made. I gotta, parents are, coming from the island of Tonga. I want to meet their, expectation of being a good son. And I'm like, man, and so I'm walking from home, and I get home, and I sit down with my dad, and tears down my eyes. It's like, man, I've never felt so embarrassed to to ask you for help, but then to help you guide me in the right way. And I think at that moment is when I decided to, start looking for schools. And that's when I came across the Master's College.
Okay. Dang. Wow.
That's rich.
Dang. So did you become a believer in that moment, or you felt like you already was and was lukewarm,
probably lukewarm, because my dad would often, I would take him to the youth conventions for Assemblies of God. Sometimes I would be high, with weed, and some days I'd be a little tipsy, but nevertheless, my dad always believed, so I knew the gospel, but I didn't really have a full, transformational life,
Yeah. How long were you playing at Cal Poly, or were you just 1 year?
It was a semester.
1 semester.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got kicked off the team.
No way.
Yeah.
Off a full ride.
Full ride, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
And is Cal Poly Pomona a D1 school or D2?
They're not D1.
Oh, they're not.
I think they're D2. Yeah.
Okay.
A D2 school.
Yeah. That's hard to get into for sure. Yeah. Wow.
I tried to be on the basketball team at Cal Poly.
Oh, you did?
What, to serve water? Or?
That was the only position available for me at that time.
So we need a guy that towels, water.
Here's what my strategy was. I skipped a grade. So I was 16 when I graduated from high school. So high school basketball didn't work out for me.
Okay.
But I got a jumper. So they're going to see this. So I go to Cal Poly and I sign up for a basketball elective.
Gotcha.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, I'm going to stand out so much that I'm going to play for Cal Poly.
They're going to beg me to be their shooter.
Needless to say, I've
Steph
never
Curry.
played for Cal Poly.
Well, yeah. All you got to say is they weren't ready for the Steph Curry dynamics of basketball yet.
Oh, yeah, the game changed. The game changed.
The game.
Yeah.
They weren't ready for.
No, I'm not good in basketball. I'm not good in basketball. I can shoot if I'm wide open, but I'm not good at basketball.
What's your best sport you're good at?
Basketball.
Chess? Not chess? Probably chess.
No, he's a dominoes player.
Oh, dominoes. There you go.
I don't think
Dominoes.
that's a
I'll
sport.
I'll challenge anyone in America to dominoes.
Is it Phil better than you?
No.
Did Phil beat
Ask
you?
Phil.
Stop.
Did
Ask
you guys
Phil.
play?
Stop.
Ask Phil. Call Phil right now.
I'll stop. I'll do that.
He beat you.
Ask Phil who's better.
Oh, please. He's on vacation with his family, but he'll answer if he's by his phone.
For you, he'll
Yeah,
answer.
Yo,
Yo, Philly dog.
what's goody?
Hey, you're on the podcast right now. I got a question. Then you go back to your
Yes.
family.
Okay,
Who's better at dominoes, you or Aaron?
me hands down.
Oh, he swore. He
Let's
swore
go.
you were gonna be like, oh, him all
Okay.
day, him all day.
Okay.
Challenge.
No way.
June
Challenge.
June
I mean,
13th,
in the
me
computer,
versus Phil.
In the computer version of dominoes, yes, they feel bad for him, and it's a computer.
Computer.
I gotta ask him what the score is sitting in front of him.
Yeah, what's
Ooh.
in-person
What's the
play?
What's the in-person?
Where you
play?
don't have
That's
Google on you.
We're gonna find out
Cheating
June
once.
13th.
June 13th, he said.
We're gonna
he's
find
calling
out
you
one week from now.
June 13th. Let's do
Eyeballs.
it live on
Oh.
the podcast.
We're on the podcast.
We'll be in the background when you guys just film it. Then we'll let you know.
We'll have like a secondary feed of you guys playing in the background. We could actually do that. That would be hilarious.
That would
What is
be
that? Is
dope.
June 13th my house?
Yeah.
You just offered a challenge.
Oh, you thought I just picked that up? No.
No, I'm like,
Yeah.
I think that's. Oh,
June
so you're gonna
13th.
have a
'Cause they're
pregame
together.
at my house? Okay,
Pre-game.
all right.
Yeah,
Because they're
in front of
together.
everybody. And then
What's on the table for this? I need some sweat equity in here. What's on the table?
I'll accept anything.
Oh.
We'll talk offline.
Oh, okay. He said let's negotiate offline.
We will.
He doesn't want it on record for the podcast. You know?
Oh yeah, we don't want that. Yeah, we don't want that.
All right, bye. Oh, you
Oh,
was real
man.
cocky.
Hey, everybody talking about humility. I'm the best.
I'm the best in domino. I'm the best domino player. That was the guy at Bank of America. He just wanted to show you what who that was, what Aaron that was back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get down in dominoes,
Yeah.
but you can't play chess.
No.
So, but you can run now. Right now, you do running, right? You do running now, right?
I love running.
He's a runner.
Yeah.
You hadn't always been a runner. It's like a new thing, right?
It's been for the past. You know what? And I wasn't intentional about this until I thought about it. Once Faith was born.
Oh,
Okay.
running became a thing,
Yeah.
like to clear my mind. Until like, you know, it was when I started taking Christianity seriously. Because I want that. I never had anybody accountable. I didn't have accountability.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking like, man, I be thinking wrong. My thoughts are whack. I need somebody to like help share. So I would just process thoughts on my run.
Yeah.
And then I recognized like I'm running farther and farther and farther because I never thought about what I thought about.
Yeah.
So I do running more for like mental clarity than for like physical like. There's a physical benefit, but
Yeah.
the mental clarity I get from a run is
Yeah.
that's my runner's high.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
You was a runner, right?
Yeah, I mean, if Aaron can ever beat my mile time, on my
my
3
what's your
miles, we
mile
talked
time?
about it.
What's-
Well, we
what's
talked
your
about
mile
it last
time?
podcast with Will. I you know, it's been so long, but my mile time was sub 5. It was under 5 minutes. Yeah, 100%. It was
Yeah.
under 5 minutes. Yeah, and then my mile.
That's incredible.
My
That's
mile.
Tough.
My
No, that's
mile.
incredible.
Tough.
Well, I was top 4 and 5 on the team on varsity cross country in high school. So 7 players get on. Only 7 runners make the team. I was, you know, my mama got all my varsity letters in her little room.
Still
so
hanging.
Caleb has
You
his
gotta bring
varsity
that.
cross country letters. My mom has them boxed on like display in her bonus room. Mine's from varsity cross country and track. And then Nathan's varsity. He's got a Letterman jacket. It's for academics.
I got it though.
You got any medals?
I told you I was 12 years. I was 12 years old as a freshman in high school. I was 4'11" my freshman year.
Yeah. And I did pole vaulting. I wasn't as bad as I say in like my sermons. I was decent in pole vaulting. So I pole vault medals. And my contacts all messed up. But I have pole vault medals, and then I have some track medals as well. And then I have cross country ones for because in cross country you compete as an individual and a
And
team.
the team, right?
Yeah. So I have some team awards. Hard to get first, second, and third individual in cross country unless you were like Caleb, one of the best. You had to be like a state in our area. Like our area is highly competitive at cross country and track. So specifically cross country. So it hard to be top 3 in that. But you could be top 3 team for sure. So I have a couple of those. But
Okay.
yeah, 3 mile sub 16, 1 mile sub 5. So
What's your
if
best
Aaron
time
ever
for mile?
beats that, then we'll.
I did a mile last week in 6:29.
It's very good.
It's pretty good.
And he didn't believe in himself. Speaking of good friends,
Yeah.
I was a good friend because he said, "What did you want to run? Sub 7."
Yeah, sub 7.
So we're talking one day, and he goes, "I want to one day run a mile, and I want to rub sub 7." And I was like,
He was like, "That's easy for you."
"Yeah." I said, "That's easy for you." He's like, "No, it's not. I've never done it." And I was like, "What's your average mile when you go on a 4 or 5 mile run?" And you said
8:30.
8:30. I said, easily take a mile, minute and a half off is easy. That's not even you breaking a sweat. So I go, you're gonna go sub 6:30. And he's like, there's no way. And I'm like, with that time, you're going sub 6:30. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. And then he sends a screenshot. Oh yeah, I did it. And I'm like,
Nice.
that's without any pressure. Put you on a track, you know, with someone pacing you that can
Right.
run 6 minutes. I'm like, you're going 6:15 all day. You know, so that's good. That's really
definitely another humility moment for me. Running the marathon and seeing the pacers hold up their pace time.
Yeah.
And sizing yourself up against those guys. I can run their pace. And ignoring all your training because you want to compare yourself
Yeah,
to somebody and
for
stay
sure.
with their pace.
Yeah.
Wow.
And competitively, like when we used to do it competitively in like cross country, we would have rabbits who would do that for arrogant guys like that. So you'd have a rabbit who was probably like number 6 or 7 on the team, and it was there. If you weren't competing for a team time and you already knew where you guys stood, then number 6 or 7 would go out,
Dart out.
and pull the team with them and try to get the best guys to follow him. And only the arrogant ones would catch it. But that would be enough because it basically counts your top 5, not your top 7 when you're competing as a team. It's 4 or 5, something like that. So 6 and 7 would say, hey, if the average mile for this is going to turn out to be 5:30, 6 minutes, whatever, they say you're going to run your mile time. And then you're going to burn out by the second mile, and then you're just going to come in last. But you're going to pull 10 guys with you from Upland and Etiwanda and other stuff like that. And that could be that could be their 4 and 5 guy or whatever that causes your team to win. So we would do that. We would do that stuff all day. People would fall for it all the time at those invitationals and stuff like that. But that's hard at half marathons and marathons to not get caught up. Go, I feel good. I can speed up a little bit. It catches up. But yeah, I haven't ran since then. But
Since high school.
But I give great running advice. My wife recently got into running, and she's like, I want to run a half marathon coming up. And so I gave her, the tactics, and you do this. And then she's been doing a lot of it on top of an app. And she's like, oh, you do know a lot about running. I'm like, yeah, it's been a long time since I've done it, but we did it competitively. Medals. I know. Yeah, I got medals. I had a little New Balance sponsorship. Like, we was getting down. So Josh Wolfer is on our staff. He was on JV when I was running back in the day. So you could just ask Josh Wolfer one day. Like, was Adam that
he
guy?
was on JV.
right.
Not at his level, though.
Not on V.
Well, because he was a soccer player. So I think he did cross country in the off season. I don't think he took running as serious. But like for me, that was my only sport. Yeah. All right, y'all. Great episode. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Beyond the Letter. Appreciate everybody sharing, subscribing, sharing this with people in your life. Always great to hear how this podcast impacts people. So appreciate you tuning in. Peace.
Peace out.
All right.